court has also reviewed the sentencing memorandum from the state.
Right from the start, this judge's tone tells us everything. Calm, measured, but loaded with gravity. We're about to witness a sentencing that's not just about punishment, but about pain, trauma, and accountability. Buckle up. This one's intense.
The letters that were presented from the victims' families. I have reviewed the defendant's sentencing memorandum.
Waiving costs might sound small, but it's significant. It signals a judge recognizes a defendant's indigent status. No fines, no fees, just the sentence itself. And that sigh, even the judge seems emotionally spent by the weight of this case.
The report from Dr. Tilley and also the mitigation report. I will award 902 days of jail time credit. I will waive all costs and fines in this matter. There's nothing that can be said to aid the victims' families and help them move on. Know that your family members matter to everybody in this courtroom, that your family members, we grieve with you, but they're still with you and they're looking down on you and they're grateful for your caring and your loving.
This is the tightrope of justice. Empathy versus accountability. The judge acknowledges a tragic childhood. But where do we draw the line between victim and perpetrator? What do you think? Should a painful past lessen a violent crime sentence?
Ability to be here for them today. Hopefully today will move forward for you in some way that will lead to no more sadness, but maybe just happy memories. So I am very sorry to each one of you for being here. As for Miss Auburn, I am sorry for you as well. I know about your past. I have read the reports. I do have compassion and empathy for you because nobody chooses to be raised in an environment at 12 years old where you're exposed to both parents with drug addictions and sexual abuse and violence for your entire life. We know what created the monster that did this. The monster that did this was created by a society that you didn't have a person in your life that cared enough to care for you the way that you deserved.
This is the pivot, the emotional climax. The judge separates empathy from consequence. No excuses, no deflection. It's a clear statement. Personal trauma doesn't erase responsibility for taking lives.
But I also understand the state's argument. People died at your hands. The video that I reviewed, as horrible as that may seem to reflect on you.
Here's a legal crux. Under section 2929.14c, for the judge has to justify consecutive sentences. Basically, she's saying the crimes were so severe, so interlinked, that stacking sentences is the only way justice makes sense. This isn't just punishment, it's precedent.
Of your alleged taking responsibility for everything to who was, I would consider your handler, not even a pimp, a handler. I don't give any stock to that confession that you made or your arrogance during that because you were clearly under the influence. And whether anybody noticed it or not, you had a huge black eye. So I have no idea whether he beat you up and then got you high and instructed you to say things. That doesn't weigh on me. What weighs on me is that I have a courtroom full of people who have lost somebody due to your actions. And whether someone put you up to it or not, you were the one who basically pulled the trigger. There wasn't a gun involved, but for you, their relatives would probably still be alive. And that's what I have to take into consideration today. So the law requires under 2929.14C4 to make specific findings prior to imposing consecutive sentences. In this situation, it is the findings of the court that consecutive sentences in this matter are necessary to punish the offender and or to protect the public from future crime, and consecutive sentences are not disproportionate to the seriousness of the conduct and the danger posed by the defendant, and two or more, all of the offenses actually are part of one or more courses of conduct, and the harm caused is so great or unusual that a single prison term would not adequately reflect the seriousness of the conduct. We're in a situation where
Wait, did you catch that? We're not done with Blue and Mattis Graham. That line drops like a bomb. It means there's more to this case, maybe more defendants or an unresolved thread. What do you think's coming next?
people's lives have been changed forever, and that is unexcusable. And so the order of this court will be for counts 6, 12, 18, and 24. I will impose the mandatory 15 to life sentence. Those will be consecutive to one another. As to count 2, which is the F2, the felonious assault, that will receive an indefinite sentence of 8 to 12 years, but that will be concurrent to the remaining counts. So counts 6, 12, 18, and 24 will be consecutive. Count 2 will be concurrent with 902 days of jail time credit awarded to this case. I will waive all costs and fines since the defendant has been indigent and will continue to be indigent. Anything further from the state?
Yes, Your Honor, if you could advise the defendant on the record for obligations to register under the Violent Offender Registry.
Thank you.
There is also the matter of whether the court will run that case concurrent or consecutive. To get jail time credit on both, it should run concurrent.
It is time served concurrent.
All right. And just since these are my closing remarks, I'd like to say for the record, we're not done with Blue, Timotheus Graham. And I'd also like to acknowledge, because I didn't before, the work and the presence of Scott Polgar from Columbus Police Homicide and Special Agent Carrie Ryan from the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Identification, who did the outstanding investigation on this work. Thank you.
Thank you. And I need to do PRC warnings and parole as well. So thank you. The unit that worked together to solve these issues for this family, I'm sure they'll be eternally grateful. I will place Miss Auburn on notice that if and when she is ever released from prison, she will be required to report as a violent offender. I have the form before me. Counsel, did you review this form with your client?
I did, Your Honor.
And did you witness her signing this form?
I did. She signed it right at this table.
All right, I will sign the form as well, and we will provide her with a copy. As for post-release control, the felony of the second degree requires a warning about post-release control. At this time, I'm placing you on notice that if you are released from prison, you will have 5 years of post-release control due to the nature of the crime you have committed. If you're placed on post-release control and you violate those terms and conditions, then you could be returned to the institution for 9-month increments up to half of your original sentence that you received PRC on. And if you are convicted of a new felony while on PRC, that judge could sentence you to a sentence in prison on the new felony, but could also add a consecutive term of 1 year or whatever time remains on your PRC time. As for your life tail sentences, each of those would carry a parole term. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else from the state?
If we could just state the totality of the statement for the record, then, Judge.
It'll be 60 years to life because the felonious assault is concurrent to the life sentences. Anything further from defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. We are off the record.